At nearly $2.8 trillion in assets, the U.S. ETF market continues to break records. By some estimates, the U.S. ETF market is 40% advisor-driven, and it features 1,995 listed ETFs, most of them tracking an index. Hello, I'm Shaun Wurzbach, and I lead the Financial Advisor channel at S&P Dow Jones. And today I'm pleased to be joined by Tom Lydon. He's editor and publisher of ETF Trends to explore where advisor interest is focused and where index and ETF innovation is best meeting advisor needs. Well, thanks, Tom. It's a pleasure being with you today.
Great being here. Thank you for the invitation.
Absolutely. We got a ton to talk about, but I really do think that ETF size it's being driven by advisors. I mean, what are you seeing in terms of advisor practice? What makes that marriage so great?
Well, when you look at everything that's going on in the world today, especially with technology and innovation, transparency, all this stuff comes down to the advisor level. Your average client has more information. They're using computers more. They're really concerned about cost. They're really concerned about making sure their performance is in line. And when you look at everything that ETFs have to offer, it lines up perfectly with that. And arguably, maybe the best invention in the financial services space in the last 50 years.
Right. Well, you are in a unique position where you get to speak with leaders within the ETF industry. What are you hearing from them in terms of interesting things happening within the space?
Well, we sometimes forget about the core business in the ETF space. And as you point out, $2.8 trillion, almost 2,000 ETFs.
Yeah.
But if you carve out the top 100, they account for $1.7 trillion. And most of that, core indexes, like S&P indices that have been around for a long period of time, that continue to garner assets.
Well, where do you think that innovation is really most critical to the advisor? Like, it could be within the ETF packaging, it could be within the index itself, but ultimately it has to work for the advisor. So where is it most impactful for them?
Well, first and foremost, advisors are understanding as their economics change in their business, as we're looking at fees, we're seeing more commission-based business transfer into fee-only business, as advisors are looking for competitive products for sure. Clients for sure want to know performance-wise how they're doing. And you know, if you can't beat the market, why not buy the market for virtually nothing these days, and the fact that you can do that in ETFs.
Yeah.
The next step though is to a degree in the factor space, and for those issuers who are late to the game, they have to separate themselves from the pack, differentiate themselves, and so that's really key and critical, and we're seeing innovation there as well. So
they have to be unique in terms of reaching advisors with something that advisors want.
Absolutely, and they have to make that case. So you see some of these legacy firms that have been managing money for decades or even hundreds of years now, getting into the ETF space. They can package their long tested money management within ETF wrappers that are very appealing to advisors they've worked with for an extended period of time.
Right. Well, you know, it's easy for me to say to an advisor, you should be looking more at indexing from like the idea of scale and effectiveness. You're in a position where you can see the whole ETF ecosystem. How are you really seeing the advisors that are really growing and scaling their practice? How are they doing that with ETFs?
Yeah, well, there are a lot of different ways. First and foremost, they're, hitting clients right between the eyes with, I'm hearing you, I understand that price is important, I understand transparency, performance. They're offering ETFs within a variety of portfolios, and they're reporting with their clients regularly on that. They're explaining that they're making a shift maybe from individual securities to mutual funds to ETFs too. With that evolution, and most importantly, the adoption of technology, that's really key and critical. But there are new things that are going on. There's this big wealth transfer that's in place, and we talk about this. Trillions of dollars that are going on to the next generation. We have a challenge as advisors to make sure we're communicating well not only with our clients, but with our clients' children. And there's a couple opportunities specifically with millennials, because millennials, all the studies say they love ETFs more than any other investment vehicle. They love the technology that's based around them. But there are also certain strategies, specifically in the ESG space, that we're hearing more and more about, that not only is right for them regarding the ETF wrapper, but also the value around ESG investing. I think we're going to see more there.
Well, I personally agree with you, but it's funny, every time I talk to advisors about millennials or ESG, they're a little bit more cynical. Like they'll say there's no money there. Like I can't find a millennial that can be my client, or an ESG, like I'm not sure what my client wants and I don't see big products there. So how do we get to that spot where you're serving the millennial and it's valuable for advisors?
Yeah. So we went through a phase before the financial crisis where socially responsible investing got a lot of press, but you felt like you had to give up a little of the performance in order to participate with that, right? Today, with some of the indices that have come out, and again, realize a lot of these are back tested, but we're seeing some strategies that are actually performing better than some of the benchmarks, providing alpha when you're also doing the right thing from an investment standpoint. Something like that is going to stick. I don't think what's going on right now is just a fad regarding ESG, and I think this next generation, especially if you're looking to connect with them or have their parents connect with them regarding being financially responsible, it's a great tool.
Well, Tom, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to speak with you.
Great seeing you, Shaun. Thank you.
Absolutely. For those of you who'd like to learn more about how indexing works for advisors, please visit our website. That's spdji.com. Thanks and have a great day.